Hello everyone, this is Tom the Lone Wolf Prepper. It is June 28th, 2025. Hard to believe the year is almost half over and 4th of July is just right around the corner. And that's one reminder real quick. Everybody remember they're having another No Kings protest on July 4th because they don't want to go out and have, go to a barbecue or a beach. Or not. They'd rather protest. So just be aware of that. But this video is going to be about toughening yourself up because I do believe it's time for everybody to toughen themselves up. Go without a few the nicer things or the more convenient things in life to see what you can endure. Because I got a feeling that in the future people are going to have to endure a lot more than they are now, and the softies aren't going to make it. For instance, what am I doing? I decided to go this year without air conditioning. And it's been over 100 a few days and stuff. It's warm today. But I decided to go this summer without air conditioning. And people laugh at me and stuff. I said, well, I come on my YouTube channel and tell everybody to be ready for the colonial days. It's time for me to start practicing what I preach. You know, Americans have become really soft. We're going to get to the point where we have to endure. Now, if I have what I want for my bug out or homesteading situation, I'll have a dugout in the middle of a bank next to a stream with my dogs and horses, and I won't have to worry about hot days in that dugout. It'll be always nice and cool and nice and comfortable during the wintertime. So that's one way to use nature to help regulate your environment, okay? That's why I like dugouts a lot. You know, they don't have to be that big, but they can be extravagant. I've been watching a lot of videos on dugouts and been getting, I had a lot of my own ideas and done my own stuff, but, new ideas, knowledge is never a bad thing to soak in. And other people's ideas, especially when they're very inventive. I saw a guy who made a dugout and landscaped the front of it and stuff, and it looked like a little hobbit house. Really looked cool. Somewhere you bring your mother to. But anyway, what are you doing to toughen yourself up? And that's another thing, physically, okay? People need to get in shape, at least to the point where, as a prepper, Columbus, as a prepper, okay, you got to be able to carry that pack, especially if you got to bug out, unless you're going to guard, your final stand is your home, your castle and stuff. But you got to be physically in shape. Being reliant on all these pharmaceuticals isn't going to make it. Because eventually we aren't going to have that. Especially if we go to war with China, a lot of that stuff comes from there. People are going to have to toughen up. Okay, so maybe cut back on your pills you're taking. Instead of, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say nothing. But you get into shape. The better shape you're in, the lower your blood pressure is, the more energy you have, the healthier you are, okay? The less weight you carry, the healthier you are. Your heart don't have to work as hard. You're out here, when you're working, doing manual labor, cardiovascular, get rid of that riding lawnmower. One way to endure, get rid of that riding lawnmower and use a push mower. Get rid of that wood splitter, use a maul. All right? Get rid of those conveniences because it's a lot easier going out and splitting wood for a few hours than it is to sit in that doctor's office for hours on end and not being seen. People say I do a lot of things the hard way. Yeah, but it keeps me healthy in all the doctor's office, and I'll take that any day. I'm kind of one. I'm against all technology. God gave me muscles to use them, not to sit there and let them turn into mush and let a machine do my thinking and a machine do my work. All right. But anyway, I mean, that's one thing people need to get in shape, and then when stuff goes crazy and we don't have our normal life anymore, where you can't just run to the gas station and get gas, You know, there ain't going to be food in the grocery store. I mean, when it gets tough, and it's coming, are you going to be able to endure it? Are you tough enough? Now, like my whole thing in the big city, if you're in the big city, you need to bug out. You need to have a bug out plan, a bug out place, and not be guarding no castle because you'll die on that hill, okay? But you need to get out, okay? You can be able to endure the route you got to take, the hardships you're going to have to endure. You know, people at least need to know how to prepare their own food and grow their own food. You know, by going out and harvesting animal life, harvesting your garden. Can you prepare food and maintain it and keep it over the winter? Okay, can you endure that type of labor it's going to take? The labor, you ain't gonna have to worry about a job because you're gonna be spending all your time to ensure that you can make it from day to day. Because all this stuff that you go to work for to make money, that you pay somebody else to do, well, that's not gonna exist anymore. Okay, and I always say, knowledge. Get books. Screw the internet. Get hard copies of stuff. It's not bad to have reference materials in everything, from herbal treatments to canning, proper techniques of setting snares, all this stuff, navigation. Because remember, we're going to teach the next generation too. Go to these secondhand stores, these antique stores. Great place to buy that stuff. Back when, you know, that's amazing too. Through the years, you can get books on the same subject, and all of a sudden it's like you're reading two different books. Anyway. But anyway, you just got to be, what are you doing to toughen yourself up? And that's what this video is about, toughening yourself up for the tough times that are coming. Okay, of course, my plan, if the war starts, is to, our Civil War starts, is to go to the front lines. I'm just going to make my life even tougher. If it's World War III, bombs flying in this country, well, I'll be headed to the mountains where it's safer, especially away from people. Anyway, what are you doing? Like I say, I'm going without air conditioning this summer. That's one way. I'm going to get back to the colonial days. But anyway, go without electricity. Well, my electricity bill, believe it or not, is only $15 a month. So it's not like I use a lot of electricity. I could basically survive off a 35 amp generator. I guess the fridge or a fridge would be the biggest thing that would take juice, and since I don't have an air conditioner, I don't need that. And I got a wood burning stove for the winter time, so I don't need that for the furnace. But anyway, I live a very humble and frugal life, as people say, you know, even with my Bringer washer. Okay, like I say, I'm going backwards. I'm not going forward with this technology. By the time 40 years is now, I will be living in the 1850s. But anyway, that's where the Lone Wolf Prepper wants to be. So anyway, what are you doing to toughen yourself up? That's what this video is about. Check your plan out. What can you do to make it a little harder on yourself so you're not so miserable, okay, when stuff goes crazy? You know, maybe go a few days without electricity. So anyway, that's all I got for tonight. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. I'm out of here.